Whatever the night has in store, I'm playing only the best feel-good party rock and body shaking music from funk to soul to reggae to R&B, house to salsa, and much, much more. We call it The Groove each and every Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. Keep it locked. It's the crowd pleaser, baby. You know how we do. We'll see you on the air. Peace.
You're listening to Bolsa 360 Show on iLive Radio, giving you the best Brazilian music, groove, soul, funk, house, anything Brazilian. Bolsa 360 on iLive Radio.
You're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio. iLive Radio.
And I am Patrick O'Morris.
Hi.
This is Patrick O'Morris Show.
Hi.
I think I said that wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I want to thank everyone for joining me today. And my guest, Giselle, thank you for being here.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
It's great. Now, Giselle, for those of you who may not know, she is, marketing extraordinaire. You do some marketing stuff. You wear a whole lot of hats.
I do. Wear a whole lot of hats.
Wear a whole lot of hats.
Before we finish, though, I just got to say the Nakimbe name, too, because that's how most people know me.
Okay, so Makembe. What's up
Nakimbe.
with that?
Well, that's a whole other story. We'll have a whole other show about that one.
Okay, we'll have to bring you back to have a conversation about the name thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we live in an era that is like it's filled with words like fake news, alternative, facts.
Mm-hmm.
Words like revenue tools. It seems everywhere you turn, everybody's got some kind of a new buzzword that they're saying in terms of, I guess, creating their own kind of marketing around stuff. Everywhere you go, there's all this social media stuff. Then there's digital media stuff. There is virtual media stuff. There is all kinds of people doing streaming online.
Yeah.
There, everywhere you turn, there's like so much what I sometimes will call noise.
Noise.
Yes. And like everybody is producing a lot of this noise.
Yeah.
So with all this noise that gets produced, it's like, how do you filter through? If you're a business owner, if you're somebody who is an artist or a musician or something, and you want to sort of get people to hear. I mean, I think we're in an amazing time right now because the ability to sort of put your stuff out there is so
unprecedented.
Easy. It's unprecedented, right? Before, back in the day, if you were a singer, you had to try to shop your music around and get somebody to buy it, or a videographer or something like that. Mm-hmm. But now you just put it out there. But everybody's doing that.
Yeah.
And so because everybody's doing that, now, like I said, there's a lot of noise.
Mm-hmm.
And so, hopefully you can help us today sort of cut through how do you cut through some of this noise?
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, I'm a total marketing nerd and I have marketing ADD, so I might just go all over the place with everything that I want to talk about.
Marketing ADD.
Yeah, all right. Really. But I think that in terms of cutting through the noise, one of the first things I think with small business owners and entrepreneurs is you really have to find out who your target market is. And I know that sounds so generic, but who do you really want to speak to? Who is your market and what problem do you solve for them? You have to get to know them very well. Sometimes they say to have an avatar. Let's say, I don't know, give me a business that.
So
let's try to get a business that we can tell them how to cut through the noise.
Okay, how do I cut through the noise? I'm iLive.
You're already famous show, and big.
How do I cut through how does iLive cut through the noise?
Okay, so first of all, let's talk about iLive. So first of all, you have to find out what your differentiator is. So what makes you different than any other radio internet station out there?
We are unique in that we actually play music that people want to listen to. Okay.
And how did you find out what music people want to listen to?
So with iLive, we've got so many DJs that are involved, mm-hmm. that all have a crowd that follows them, and I think I'm not a DJ by any means, and I try to stay in my lane. I keep asking Jason for a DJ show, and he keeps laughing at me.
That's why you have a 2:00 talk show?
Yeah, exactly. So all these DJs, they all have followings. And being around DJs all my life, I've always watched how they work with the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that regular radio stations today, they sort of push to the crowd as opposed to getting feedback. In certain, it's not really a symbiotic relationship. Any performer that's going to be on stage, they will always talk about that love, that symbiotic relationship, what they give to the crowd and the crowd gives back to them. That's in terms of with iLive, whether it's the music that we play or the events that we have, it's this symbiotic relationship between the crowd and the music, and we sort of feed off each other. And that's something that most terrestrial radio station, they just kind of push what they feel is going to make money.
Okay.
And so their focus is about the money. It's not about that feeling or that emotion that's get captured. If you could bottle that and sell it, it would be gazillion. How do I do that?
Perfect.
How do I bottle and sell it?
So that's perfect. So you actually hit the nail on the head right there. That's one of the first things that I think people have to, small businesses and entrepreneurs have to realize. It's really all about engagement now. You were talking about the noise. You can't just push your message out there and, I have the best radio station. I have the best restaurant. I'm the best photographer. I have the best coaching program, because everyone is saying the same thing. Like, honestly, if you're a restaurant and you're posting a picture of your appetizer, it looks like every other appetizer. You have to really differentiate yourself. So you want to have that engagement, and then you can have that feedback, and you can find out, what do people really want from me? What differentiates me from my competitor? And then give that back to them. And that's one of the biggest things I find that small business owners and entrepreneurs don't do, is they don't really survey their customers and they don't really ask for feedback. So you're not always sure, why did you pick my service? What did you like about me? What can I improve? And when you start to collect that information, maybe you'll find out, like, you have the best customer service, or you are the friendliest person, or you have the best resources, and then you can use that in your branding, and that can start to be a part of your messaging. So yeah, I sell vitamins, but not only do I sell vitamins, I'll follow up with you. I'll check on your health. I'll give you access and resources to other health things. You have to provide value. And that's kind of why I'm passionate about helping small businesses, is because I work with big corporations that have unlimited marketing budgets, and I know what they do, and small business owners can do the same thing. Then you can hone your message. And
can we use some of those unlimited marketing budgets for me?
We'll talk about that after the show. Yeah.
So it's, just squeeze it in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. So, before the show, I had you listen to a little video. And for those of you who here we go, alternative facts.
Alternative facts.
Jason posted something about iLive getting its 1 billionth listener. And it's alternative facts. And it seems like in this era of fake news, and now, this whole concept of alternative facts, and for those of you who may not know, if you just Google alternative facts, you'll kind of see, it's almost like some people, not everything that people are necessarily saying is actually accurate.
Right.
And it seems to be that it's almost like facts or reality doesn't really matter anymore. It's all about, what kind of perception I can kind of create, or what kind of spin I can put on something.
Who can shout the loudest? Who can have the craziest story? Who can get the most attention? And, again, we were talking about noise and cutting through the noise, and we're talking about engagement. But how do you really get people's attention? So sometimes you're going to want to spin the facts. And
you're telling me I need to do some alternative?
No. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that people are so competitive to be heard in today's overcrowded, social media space and marketing space, that they will come up with little creative things. So an alternative fact, for example, there's a great book, Ryan Holiday. It's called Trust Me, I'm Lying. It's all about sort of growth hacking media. And you got to realize, with all the blogs that are out there, people are so hungry for content. So if you have a story that you feed to a little micro blog, that might get picked up by another blog, and then you can have this sensationalized story. And then you can have a fact and say, oh yeah, I saw somebody beat somebody over the head, and this is the company they work for, this is what they really stand for. And push that up the media, and then turn around and say, oh no, we were mistaken. It wasn't that thing that we saw, it was something else. So an alternative fact might be, we have our 1 billionth person who's listening now, but we didn't really mean 1 billionth by this measurement standard. It's this measurement standard.
So you just make stuff up.
Yeah, or one person listened, we're only counting listening as every 10 minutes. So if they've listened for, an hour, they've listened 6 times, and you multiply. It's just all about spinning, because you're trying to get attention. It's not always a good thing, but that's kind of what's going on.
in essence, the individuals out there that's kind of doing whatever they can to draw that attention.
Yeah, but it's completely it's not necessary. Like
I was reading an article the other day online. At least I thought it was a reasonable article until when I got halfway through. I'm like, wait a second here. I think this is some kind of marketing thing. And the article was about somebody who their bank accounts got locked up or something because of something, and it was a marketing tool about this company that was looking for people to basically they were selling their service. But the way this article was written was like it was like a news story about this I guess by halfway I'm like, this can't be real. And I see the sales pitch here. And it just seems like we've moved away from the hard truth or hard facts of things to it almost feels underhanded. Like the city of Toronto has been talking a lot about revenue tools. That was like the buzzword that they're using. It's a tax,
right?
But nobody wants to call it a tax,
right?
But it's a revenue tool, and the province is calling things revenue tools. Donald Trump is his people that surround him. Their thing is alternative facts, and I couldn't believe the interview we were watching where the woman says, well, like the guy says, look, what he said is not true, and she says, well, no, he's presenting alternative facts.
Yeah,
it's almost like the media, and I'm not trying to attack the media or anything. I'm just really trying to understand how do we sift through all of this stuff. So if you're a business, and you're providing a particular service and you're being straight up about it, it's almost like you get drowned out by all this stuff that's not actually real.
Yeah, well, that again kind of goes back to the engagement and really finding out what your customer wants, because that's like a blanket desperate kind of measure when you just have to come up with alternative facts and make things creative and over sensationalized just to get your message out there. It's because you don't know who the hell you're talking to, really. Because if I find out what your needs are, how I can best serve you, get some data from you, find out what it is, what's your problem, and solve that problem, I can speak to you directly and I can tell you the truth. And it doesn't matter if 7 other restaurants are saying that they make the best this, that, and the other. I'm not listening to that noise because this restaurant that I'm engaging with, who's really, giving me good content or giving me ads that make sense, they're giving me what I want. Maybe it's convenient, or maybe if I go there enough times, they'll give me a discount on something afterwards, or maybe it's just the music, or maybe it's the type of people that also come to the restaurant. You just don't have to sell your food. So if you can find out again what your customers want, what problem you can solve for them, and offer that to them, they'll keep coming to you. They'll keep spending money with you, and you don't have to do these crazy, over-sensationalized, over-the-top things. But most small business people are like, okay, I have to post on social media or I have to do a banner, and never really take the time to find out, what people want. Like, why are you going to buy my Cleanse product over one that's at Shoppers Drug Mart? You have to figure out what the difference there is, right? So I don't think you need alternative facts, and I don't think you need all of these marketing spins if you really know who your target market is, and you speak to them and you give them what they want.
Okay, so if you can cut through some of that noise by just targeting your audience, basically is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple things that I would like us to talk about. Mobile apps, the effectiveness of that, live streaming, also the effectiveness, because it seems like everybody. I mean, I'm streaming live right now.
Right.
But it seems like there are so many people who are now live streaming. Viral marketing, that's another thing that seems to be a big thing that a lot of people are pushing for. Everywhere you turn, there's a social media expert.
Yeah.
Around the corner.
Yeah.
And what exactly is a social media expert?
Oh,
and how do you figure out what's a good person? Because I mean, I get contacted by people all the time. Oh, I do your social media stuff. I'm great.
Yeah.
All this wonderful stuff. And then when I look at their following, I mean, I don't have a lot.
Right.
But I have more than they do.
Right.
And I understand some people might be starting their business out and all that sort of stuff. But So what are some of the important things if I'm looking for somebody to manage my social media presence because I'm such a busy guy? What are some of those things that I should really be looking for? Now, for those who are listening, if you've got any questions, by all means, you can hit us up on Facebook if you're streaming this live. It's just me, you, and my grandmother that's watching.
Right.
So we're good.
Great.
So for anybody who might be watching this online, you can type a question in through Facebook, and I'll get that to her. Yeah. Okay. So how do we do this? How do I figure out who's good?
Okay, and that's a great.
Because everybody costs money. My money's important. So how do I want to spend it properly? Besides you.
Right. Well, first of all, I guess you have to find out how many clients they have, who their clients are, and maybe get some feedback from them. So first of all, let me just back up. Again, social media is a little bit of a tricky thing. And when you're an entrepreneur, a small business starting out, the things that you may think are important may not actually be important from a revenue generation perspective. So what I mean by that is shares are great. If your content is valuable or meaningful or share worthy and they share it, then that's a good thing because you're getting some attention that way. But it really doesn't matter if people... Well, let me be clear. I don't mean that it doesn't matter if people don't like or have a little emoji by your thing.
Yeah.
But does that bring in money? Like just because you're a business, you're an entrepreneur, you post a picture of your shoes or your makeup or your clothes or whatever, and I like it, and you have like 12,000 likes, but no one's buying anything. It doesn't really matter. That one person who has 156 followers, they could be very loyal followers, engaged followers, and anytime you have a post, they share it. Anytime you have a product, they buy it. So getting caught up in what's called vanity metrics, like if you want to look good on social media, that's great. If you want to spend your time doing that instead of, making calls, going out there hustling, making sales because you think you have to be online all the time. So it's not always about that. So when you're trying to get someone to handle your social media, they should sit down with you. And if they're not asking you, what are your long-term objectives? What are you trying to achieve with your social media presence? Are you trying to get people to buy or download an app? Are you trying to get them to go to your website? Are you trying to get them to go to an event? Like there has to be strategy, first of all. So if they're not asking you what your strategy is, and that's not the person to hire, first of all.
Okay.
And then they have to have a plan. They should be able to sit down and say, okay, so the first quarter we're going to do this. The second quarter we're going to do this. The person has to know about changing. What's your message? Are you going to have banners? Are you going to have videos? Are you going to send holiday messages? Like they have to have a whole strategy. And what I've seen, and it breaks my heart, there was a gentleman, he was a social media expert, and he's like, oh, I can increase your social media SEO. And all he was doing was posting inspirational quotes, so he was handling a small business's account.
Yeah.
And that account was just posting, be great today from XYZ business. And that was, how the person was handling their social media. Someone has to be there to answer you if you're on Messenger, for example, because Facebook has Messenger, and they have to just be able to engage. So who's going to do all of that? You can't just be posting banners and pay somebody $500 a month to handle your social media. And then there's Twitter, there's integration, there's...
Yeah, so
a lot.
Obviously, Twitter, Snapchat.
It's a lot to handle.
All these wonderful stuff. Okay, so if you were, to look at me and say, okay, what's your strategy? What do you want to do? And I'm kind of like, I don't know. Like,
right.
I just want people to buy my product.
Yeah,
and that's the reality. That's the reality of a lot of people today because. Dare I say, my generation and above may not necessarily be, not everybody my generation, however, there's a lot, mind you, but not everybody my generation, our generation, is, I'm lumping you in with me, is necessarily quite astute at this. Yeah. And then, the older generation, they might have businesses and stuff, and they're used to doing it one way. They're used to, having that storefront or having that product and having people coming to them and going through, traditional form of marketing. So for them who may not necessarily have that I can never say that word.
Strategy.
Yes, they never have that. They may not have that. When they come to you, do you build that for them? Or should you be looking, if I'm looking for somebody to offer those services, should I be looking for them to sort of come with me and say, here is dare I say, almost like a cookie cutter template that you should sort of be following? Or is it just kind of, well, let's throw everything against the wall and see what sticks?
No, I wouldn't do that. And I wouldn't do the cookie cutter strategy either, because every business is unique. And I mean, as a consultant, I would sit down with you and I would find out, again, what are your goals, your objectives, who are you speaking to, who are your competitors, what do you have to, why would I do business with you as opposed to your competitor? And get all of that. Again, find out who your market is, find out where they are. I would also probably do some cross-marketing. Let me trying to think of an example. If you sell clothes and all you want to do is, sell your clothes on social media, why don't you get together with maybe a makeup artist, and then you guys can kind of cross-market. So there are all sorts of strategies to do it that way, but you would have to just find out. So who are your complementary industries that kind of support you, that you're not in direct competition with? How can we do, like I said, cross-marketing with them? And find out all of that information and then put together a strategy that makes sense. It can't be cookie cutter. You can't just say, okay, post every day at 12, 2, and 4. And, again, if you're hiring a social media, they need to know for your particular audience, when are they most likely to be online? Sometimes it's like 11 in the morning. When is business slow? Somebody has to ask you all those questions. And what I found, because I've been marketing for about 15 years, and when I first started out, small businesses didn't have the money to pay me for my consultation services. And so I was like, okay, well, you can't afford me. So they would try to go and learn everything themselves. And then I go and work for big corporations that I said, have unlimited marketing budgets, and they basically just waste money, sometimes. And I was like, it's really sad that small businesses don't treat themselves like corporations, and they don't treat themselves, they call themselves entrepreneurs or small businesses, but don't really manage it that way. Sometimes you need to invest $200 and get a marketing consultant to, can you just put together a strategy for me? Can you help me find my brand position?
So you can build my strategies for me for $200? This is great.
Well, you know what? Okay, because I don't know how really large your audience is, but no, right now, and if Dwayne Morgan is listening, giving a shout out to him because I just developed his mobile app, and I'm really passionate. And I was talking to Roger Dundas from BuyBlacks.com.
Oh, you're just dropping, you're just dropping names. Okay, all right.
Warren with First Fridays, but I'm just out there. No, because I really want to help small businesses. I mean, I know what to do. People have to engage, and you were talking about live streaming before. Like webinars. It's so old school. Have live stream. If you're a small business, if you're a photographer, for example, like reality TV is big, why don't you just hire a student to come along with you and say, hey, I'm doing a photo shoot for this wedding. Come along and tape me. People want to know you. Who cares if you take pictures? I want to know you. What's different about your service? You have to sort of mimic what's going on out there.
Okay. So you're kind of stepping into something, okay?
Oops. That just sounded like an oops.
No, it's not an oops. Okay. So some of my friends and I, we had this discussion about the U.S. election. I'm not going to go too far into this, but you had somebody who is basically a reality TV star up against somebody who's a traditional politician. And it just seems like everything is moving reality TV-wise. And even what you were just saying, if you're a photographer, get a student to come behind. Now, you're probably, the student you get is probably going to be working for free, which kind of sucks for starving students. You're laughing look at me like that. I'm being serious,
I know,
interns working for free, right? So they come, they're recording, they're doing the background thing. And so is that really what we've become, a society, that it's like you have to sort of join this reality TV craze?
Kind of. And that's because with social media, everyone sees you. So, 30 years ago, for example, you're talking about plugs and stuff like that. My son just started his internship at CBC. And
see, you're working for free.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And, so I'm looking at the way that he's dressing to go to work, and it's kind of like business casual. I'm like, are you do you need a jacket and a tie and stuff? He's like, no, Mom, nobody dresses like that.
He's not getting paid, so he can't afford it.
Right, but I give him money, Patrick.
You need to take him shopping, so get him that suit and tie so he can go to work properly.
Anyway,
okay, what's your story?
But I remember 20 whatever years ago when I started working in the workforce, I had my jacket with what were those things? The shoulder pads.
Yes.
So things have changed.
Look at you, shoulder pads. Okay.
You no longer have to, have your corporate image of the CEO with, that plain black background and that poised portrait picture. No, people want to go to your Twitter and your YouTube and they want to see you with your family. So you just got to be real. So in that way, it is sort of going to like reality TV. I want to know you. I don't want to know your market spin. I don't want to know what you're telling me about your product. I want to know you. Like, give me some value. Give me something for free. Don't just try to take my money. So so live streaming is good, like I said, because it can be reality TV. So, it's like, oh, wow, this certain restaurant does this. They wake up at this time in the morning. You see them. Oh, my gosh, I'm getting up. I open my restaurant door and you say hi to your staff. Like, people want to see that stuff. Just don't tell me that you sell large fries and a supersized drink. Like, I don't care. Like, people want to know about that. So you have to, in terms of keeping up with your marketing, you have to see what other big corporations are doing and know that you can do that too.
So is it about creating that human connection in a way?
Yeah, you have to have a persona. It's all about personal branding. Who are you? Yeah, I know you sell a product. I know you sell a service. So do 100 million other people. Like, why am I giving my money to you? That's what it's about.
So, on your, whether it's your Facebook page or your Twitter feed or, Snapchat and all that sort of stuff, should you make sure you maybe take down some photos before you start doing this?
Well, you know what? Actually, that's a really good thing that you mentioned. And I would absolutely have... If you're
Would you go through all their stuff to make sure that there's reasonable? Because hey, people want to know you, and you're on the beach.
But you can have a business page, and you can have a business page, and like your business page and your personal
and your own personal private
page, so that everybody doesn't have to see. Yeah, you hope that everything doesn't get hacked, so that everyone doesn't see everything all the time, and that's one of the things that I do find small businesses where they can improve is sometimes there's a branding confusion, or I'm like confused about who you are. Because you sell a certain service or product, but then you're ranting about, how you just got into this fight with your mother. And then you're showing me your food. And then you're like, oh, and by the way, I sell the best vitamins or oils on the market. Like, there's no brand consistency. And again, when we were talking about target marketing before, you might have like 5,000 friends. Great, they like you, they're going to support you, they'll share your stuff, they'll like your stuff, but are they going to buy your stuff? So I think it's really important to have a business page and to have a personal page, and you can personalize your business page with some pictures of you being real. But I think that you should separate the two, and I think you can also, if you have a business page, you can also appropriately tag it so that you're found. I think Facebook is like... You can do everything on Facebook now, and I think it's going to become the next search engine, actually. So tagging appropriately makes sense. And by the way, guys, don't put like 7,000 or 8,000 tags with your thing. Like 2 or 3 or 4 is
tag
enough.
All your friends.
Yeah, it's like hashtag this, hashtag that, hashtag this, hashtag like. You're scattered. You don't have a focus. Like, who are you really targeting? Get those 2 or 3, and make sure that if somebody does find your tag and tags on your page, that you have a way you lead them somewhere. So, what I'm saying? It's like hashtag I'm the best business in the world. And I click on it. If I go to your page or your website, you should be offering me something, or you should definitely have a way to capture that person's information. Otherwise, they're just going to come to your website and leave. So have like a little messenger chat. Hey, can I help you? I got a lead like that just the other day. Like, someone clicked on my little messenger thing. It's like, how much are your sports apps? And if I didn't have a way to capture that, the person might have just come to my website and left. Because who wants to click on this and then type in, info@mappdom.com?
Are you saying we've gotten lazy? People don't want to...
Very lazy. And that's why mobile apps are such a good thing for
Okay.
businesses now.
Since you've been talking about this mobile app thing, maybe let's talk about this mobile app thing.
Okay, sure.
So you create mobile apps?
Yes, okay. I do.
So you can create an app for me with my face on it?
I can.
Yeah?
I can. I created an app for my son.
It'll talk to?
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's all a part of branding. So first of all, how I got into, how much time do we have?
We got
a lot of time.
We're good.
Okay, yeah. How I got into mobile apps is because I was in financial services before, and needed some sales. And I realized, okay, I'm going to need to learn marketing so that other people can get it. And then I learned about search terms and long-term keywords and SEO and all this kind of stuff. And I got into marketing, and I sort of got good enough at it that, people would ask me to help them, and I did. And then went away, got a job. They paid for, and I was working in marketing. I had my own little consultancy, and then I was doing it at a bigger corporation, and they paid for my master's degree. And so I have an MBA in marketing, an MBA in business, specializing in marketing. And then corporations were like, okay, no one's really using, people are not using desktops so much anymore, right? Everyone's kind of on mobile.
Yeah.
So you got to realize that, let's say even, 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago, if you wanted to search for something, you opened up your laptop or you went to your desktop and you typed it in, and at the side, you would see all of the little Google ads, like the sponsored ads. But guess what? If people aren't on their laptops or devices like that, where are the ads? So marketers and corporations are like, oh no, how are we going to find people? And so they started looking at mobile marketing, and that's the little ads that, pop up on some of the
those
different
annoying ads.
And that's the thing. There are ad pop-up blockers now, so you don't even have to see ads. So again, marketers are freaking out, like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna find people?
Ads are annoying.
They are annoying, and you have choice now. So there are ad blockers, and so then people started doing mobile marketing, where you would sponsor content or something. But the reason mobile apps are important for your business now is because nobody really goes to websites anymore. And even if you have a mobile device, it's way easier to just click on your app and open it than go into my browser and type it up, and it takes up so much data. So with mobile apps, you're getting your core customers, your real, again, those hardcore people that will spend money with you, because you're taking up what I call app real estate. And as soon as you want to take a picture or a video, if there's an app on someone's phone that they don't want, they're just going to delete it. So those people that keep your app, they are I think they call them 1,000 true fans. If you get 1,000 true fans, and they spend $100 with you a year, that's $100,000 income. It's way easier to engage with your audience in a mobile app than try to get the attention of your 5,000 followers on Facebook. You may not be on Facebook all the time. With mobile marketing, you can send push notifications right to someone's phone. That's a 98% open rate. When you get a text message, right? It's like, oh, who's texting me? You're sneaking at work.
Yes, I get those spam text messages. I'm like,
I'm not talking about spam text messages.
Good.
I'm talking about an app that you chose to download on someone's phone.
Okay.
And so you can engage with your customers. You can engage with people through a mobile app. Also, if you have a website that's not mobile optimized, Google's going to punish you right now. And what I mean by that is if someone comes to your website through their mobile device and the writing's all small, or they have to scroll in and out and they click something, but it clicks to something else, you're making Google look bad, because basically Google has just recommended you to this search inquiry, and they clicked on it and they hate it and they click back. So it's like Google is presenting me with crap. So if you have a Google mobile optimized site, Google will actually increase you or enhance you or put you up higher in the search engine ranking. So if you don't have a mobile optimized site, soon you're not even going to be found. So and then you can generate revenue with a mobile app in a way that you can't. You can sponsor push notifications, or people can have links through your app. You can have somebody sponsor the front of your app for a couple grand if you want to. I have a couple radio stations that have done that. You can't really monetize your social media in that way. And then you're crushing your competition because you look like you're tech savvy. You're making my life easy. I can just click on your app and I can see everything. And part of the reason I started pushing this in Toronto was, again, I got to drop another name, but Carl Castle from Harlem had a Prince tribute party when Prince died, and did that whole spray painting thing.
Yeah.
And I was so mad because I love Prince. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if I had known that, because I wasn't on Facebook that day or whatever, I was like, if I had known that this party was happening, I would have gone. And I'm like, man, why the hell doesn't Harlem have a freaking app? Because I would have downloaded the app. I would have gotten a push notification. The Prince tribute. Yeah, I would have been there. So mobile apps are, you got to be on people's mobile phones.
It sounds like you really like mobile apps.
I like marketing. I like helping small businesses connect in ways that big corporations are doing, because it's possible for them to do it. They just don't know because they're busy running their salon or restaurant or
And that's the other piece of the puzzle is that a lot of people who do have their businesses, they're just focusing on actually doing that work, and they're really good at that. They're an expert at that, but the other stuff might need some help with. Yeah. Okay, so brand video storytelling.
Yes.
What is that?
Well, that's kind of the same thing that I was talking about earlier. It's okay. So, for example, if you want to sell, I'm going to use a fitness product, for example, because there are so many fitness products that are the same, right? Mm-hmm. So again, if you want to find out, let's say a cleanse. Let's just say you want to sell a cleanse. You want to
get flushed out. Okay. All right.
So you're trying to convince somebody to buy your product over somebody else's. Okay. And you need to have a story around it. So it's not just buy my cleanse. It can't be that. So you want to have a story. So you might create, I don't know, like a video around, or follow somebody through the day and just say, this is Mary. And Mary has... Three kids.
Mary's a little backed up. She needs to.
No, it's not like.
Not that kind of cleanse?
No. First of all, I want to say something. When you're coming into marketing, there's something called interruptive marketing, where someone's just going about their life, and you're like, buy my product. That doesn't really want to work. You kind of want to join the conversation. I read this good book.
You're trying to say interrupted you there. That's what you're trying to do, right? Okay.
No.
All right.
Let's say, so here's a perfect example. So there's a great book, The Boring Letters, by Robert Collier, and he talks about this kind of interruption thing. So let's say you're a mother of two, and I'm trying to sell you a cleanse.
Okay.
Right now, I got to put myself in your mind. What are you thinking about? You're thinking about, I got to pick up groceries. I got to clean the house when I got home. I have kids. And so pretend you're walking down the street and someone comes up to you and says, oh my gosh, buy my cleanse. I have the best cleanse product in the world. You're like, whoa, get the hell away from me.
Crazy.
Right? But if that person is, if you just kind of gently join the conversation, you're like, oh my gosh, Mary, this is from a marketing perspective. You're not actually going to have this conversation, but I want you to think about positioning yourself this way when you're marketing. So I'll be like, hey, Mary, oh my gosh, it's so hard with the kids, and you have to pick them up and do all this kind of stuff. And she'll start agreeing with you. It's like, yeah, that's true. And, it's probably because you don't have a lot of energy in the morning. You go to bed late, stuff like that. Yeah. A lot of people sort of think that sometimes the lack of energy is just because, you're so drained. But sometimes it could be a digestive issue. Yeah, really, yeah. And then it's like, there are some products that help you with your digestion. And you don't just want to push your cleanse, right? You want to talk about you can do this or you can do that. You can do a cleanse. You can do this. So you're presenting different options. So again, you're not being pushy. It's sort of like seductive sales, right? You're not being pushy. And so of all of those different options that you have available, the cleanse is probably the best option. Oh, okay. And then it's like, and there's cleanse A, B, and C, but you probably want to pick cleanse C because of this. And it's like, okay, well, I'm not necessarily.
You just slide it into the story.
So it's like you have to join the conversation that's already taking place in their head. So it's like, I'm tired after work and I don't want to go home and cook. Why don't you just take a stop by Queen Street and rest your feet and come and have an appetizer or a drink? It's like, don't just I sell the best, crab legs in the world. No, you have to join the conversation, find out what their problem is, be really seductive, kind of get in there and lure them to your product. And that's the storytelling part of it. That's the storytelling part of it. Or, just tell a story about, this dog that, was so misbehaved all the time. And then finally now you have peace of mind because you can go to the park and you don't have to be embarrassed by all the neighbors because your dog gets along with everybody else. It's like, buy Jane's dog training program. I'm telling you a story. I'm telling you about this problem that Jane had and how we solved the problem, how it made her life better. I solved the problem, and that's why I'll buy Jane's dog training, academy over, this guy who just has a picture of a dog with a big ribbon. There's no storytelling there. People like stories.
And I guess that goes back to the whole reality thing that you were talking about before. People like to see behind the scenes, get to know you, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So I think that, not that marketing consultations are $200, but no, but I was saying for the good folk of Toronto,
you guys all heard her tell me she can hook me up for $200.
No, but really, It doesn't take a lot when you're passionate about it, as I am. Like, I mean, I can create a package for you that will tell you this is what your brand position is, ask you some questions, figure out what your brand position is, and then sort of give you a marketing plan that you can go out and execute on your own. Or, you know, for higher price points, of course, you can have somebody execute that for you. But as a small business owner, an entrepreneur, you need to have somebody hold your hand or just assist you, or even someone who says, yeah, you're doing a great job. Otherwise, like I was talking with one of my friends, and she has a business, and it's like, I got to run my business, but I'm also trying to learn SEO and video and this, and that's not your job. Mm-hmm. That's not your job. You know, if you're a dance instructor, that's your job. Leave marketing up to someone else. And of course, I know that it can be super expensive. That's why anybody who reaches out to me or Patrick, I'm happy to, for $199, put together something for you. No, but people need it. People need it. I mean, if you want to go and invest 15 years in learning how to do it, okay. And then you have to, like you said, know the questions. So, for example, we're talking about feedback. Mm-hmm. Now I know that people might want to know, hey, how do I hire someone to handle my social media? I've just gotten feedback from you because we're engaging, and I can go and create a product now that says, hey, are you a small business person? Are you an entrepreneur and you want to hire someone for social media but don't know what questions to ask? Download my free ebook. I mean, and then they'll download that for free. I'll collect their email information. I'll follow up with them, and then I'll sell them a $47 package later on, because I've already developed trust. But that's because I engaged with you. You told me what you wanted, and now I know how to solve your problem. That's what all entrepreneurs and small business people need to do. Mm. Yeah.
Okay, and so you help people to be able to sift through all this stuff. So at the beginning of the show, I was talking a lot about, you know, the noise, mm-hmm. you know, that's going on, and being able to number one, being able to sift through the noise. Two, with being able to figure out exactly what's real, what's not, because there is so much stuff, you know, that's out there that might seem real, that may not necessarily be real, and it's almost like, how do you know what to trust or who to trust? Because you turn on the TV, listen to the news, and sometimes it seems like it's right or mm-hmm. it makes sense. Mm-hmm. It's almost, but more, it seems more and more nowadays. It's about, well, what's your opinion? What do you think about this? Well, no. What actually really happened? Yeah. And it's hard to figure out. Okay, so what is really going on mm-hmm. versus the spin you're trying to tell me for me to go along with. And as a business owner, sometimes I don't know. Maybe there's a fine line in there that you can create that viralness around your product. That everybody, it's on because, okay, so, you know, was it yesterday somebody used the term, you know, alternative facts, and all of a sudden it's viral, mm-hmm. you know, and everywhere you go, hashtag alternative facts, this alternative facts everywhere. Mm-hmm. And as a business owner, I think a lot of business owners are kind of trying to figure out, okay, how do I create that buzzword? How do I get my business to go, you know, viral that tomorrow everybody's going to be talking about, you know, Patrick O'Morris. Or something like that. Or it becomes the next tagline, hashtag, whatever.
Sorry, I'm laughing because you're like, how do I get Patrick Morris out there? And I was going to go a whole other way with it. I was talking. But no, you got to sort of, sometimes create controversy.
You got to comment online there. Lawrence Kerr said he loves his app.
No. Hi. Yeah, we're going to get that out there soon, babe. No, but getting things can become viral in a lot of ways. There are actually people that study it, like viral scientists, and they're sort of data scientists. So you
can get like a PhD in viralness and hire that person.
Did I say viralness? I meant viral marketing.
Viral marketing, okay.
Yeah, and media manipulation. But yeah, no, one of the ways, there are many ways, but one of the ways to go viral is to be controversial or to create some kind of scandal. And you see politicians and people do it all the time, and mm-hmm. they say there's no such thing as, you know, bad press. So I'm not saying to go and do anything controversial or to get some scandal, but
my clothes off?
No, nobody wants to see that. On live, no, just forget it. Never mind. I don't mean on live.
Thanks. Okay, so yes, you were saying viralness.
Yeah.
So you wounded me.
No, so yeah, that controversy and scandal is always one way, but I mean, how are you going to inject that into, you know, your regular
selling
business?
Your box of cookies?
You got to sort of think outside of the box, or I don't know, like create a movement. For example, since here's a free one for you, Lawrence. I won't charge you, since you gave me my children and all. But so you're a photographer, right? Why don't you just create something where, I don't know, you send out a press release, first of all, because that's good for local SEO and all that kind of stuff. And you're inviting, a whole bunch of people in Toronto, and you're going to have like a Saturday photo session. You guys are all going to meet at High Park, and you're going to go to certain little places in Toronto. You're going to look at architecture. You're going to go to gardens or whatever, and just take pictures. Like, because sometimes people just want to get out of their house, and you're not selling them your photography services. You're just doing something related to your business, and you're inviting people. That would catch on,
So
the
plan is people would show up for this event that you're doing. It's an event. That you're not charging for, but later on,
it's a tour of Toronto.
They're already familiar with you.
Yeah.
And all right, then look, when you do go out to them, you've already created some kind of trust.
Yeah, create just maybe you can contact some colleges or wherever there are students who want to learn photography and be like, hey, I have this thing on Sunday. We're going to go and we're doing a photography thing, and I'll give you feedback. And it has nothing that's value add, has nothing to do with you as a photographer, but you're creating something, you're creating buzz, you're creating feed. You can have a contest where those people are like, yeah, I joined this Toronto photography tour contest, and, vote on my thing. And that way you're getting your name out there and you're not pushing your services. So you really kind of have to think outside of the box. If you're a chef or you have a restaurant, why don't you donate some money to, or donate your services, or why doesn't all your restaurant staff go down to the Daily Food Bank and volunteer for a day? And that way you're getting press, maybe from, the media or the stars, or someone will write a blog. I mean, that's how you become viral. It's not your restaurant's not going to become viral. Your services aren't going to become viral. You have to, again, engage. You have to think outside of the box, and you have to get people to find you interesting. You have to have a different story, a different spin. And then guess what? Oh, yeah, you know what? I need a photographer. And that guy, yeah, he was pretty cool. I spent the whole Sunday with him. A lot of people might be
thinking, okay, so, I'm spending my $200 with Giselle for my media package.
Yeah.
And then now she's telling me I need to give free services, which is going to cost me time and money, to people to promote myself. From a small business perspective, that might seem like a little bit much, because I'm paying for this, I'm paying for service on one end, and then I'm giving freebie services on another end in hopes that I'll get a return on my investment.
Right.
Right.
And one of my favorite sayings, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same results. So that would be my answer to that question. It's like, if what you're doing is not working, first of all, as a small business owner, as an entrepreneur, you have to invest in your business. I know it's tough, and you may not always make the kind of money you want to make every month, but when you have those good months, put money aside. You have to invest in marketing. You have to invest in your business. So you were saying, if what you were doing before hasn't been working, you have to try something new, first of all. And if you're gonna pay now, or you're gonna pay later. So yeah, what does it cost really? A press release you can do for free, or maybe $100 or $200, right? You get some media to follow you. You have this event. People, share it with their friends. They're asked you to vote. So it's branding. It's brand recognition. And then you'll probably get more business out of that than the little investment you would make for whatever strategy you decide to do to think outside the box, to market yourself differently. And earlier I talked about, cross marketing and teaming up with people, or sponsoring something, or, you can even get cheap YouTube ads or Facebook ads. You can do local marketing. You don't have to spend a lot of money. And when you know who your target market is, when you know who your niche market is, you don't have to spend a lot of money, because you're only targeting those 250 people that are like 99% likely to buy your service or product, rather than spending $5,000 on like this widespread ad just hoping that somebody is going to buy it. You don't have to spend a lot of money on marketing when you know who you want to market to.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of things today. The mobile app thing, which Lauren says he's happy with. Live streaming, hey, we're doing live streaming right now. Virtual reality market, we talked a little bit about that. Social media secrets. It
was not really secrets, but again, just so you know, oh God, I told you I'm such a marketing nerd, because copy is a big deal. For example, you can't just have an ad, you have to know who you're speaking to. So I posted today and I said, Are you an entrepreneur? Are you a small business person looking to, I've caught your attention right in the first 10 seconds. So anyway, I totally lost my plan.
We're
See,
talking about social
marketing
media secrets.
Right, yeah. So the word secrets, and that's the point. It's like, oh, she's going to reveal secrets on her show. And, you know, what are those? There are certain words that get people to act, and that's new, usually free, secrets, discover. And again, you need a marketing person to tell you that. Otherwise, somebody could have put a post and said, hey, you know, first of all, they might not have even done marketing. I reached out to Patrick, said, hey, I want to be on the show, created the banners, we posted them, we tagged. So, you know, there's a whole promotion. You have to do those kind of things. So it's not really, so I use the word secrets on purpose to get people to come. And it's only you and your grandma and your kid, you said?
Exactly. They're
watching this, nobody else?
Exactly.
But yeah, you use the word secrets, and is that what you called earlier a false?
Oh yeah, alternative news.
Alternative news, like, did she really reveal secrets on that show, or did she lie? And I could easily spin it and say, well,
some alternative facts.
That was something. Yeah, that was something you didn't know before you listened to this show, so it was a secret to you before. So that's spinning, but I didn't spin here. But my point is, it's all marketing. It's all marketing.
All right, we've got like I don't know, like 8 minutes left in the show. Okay, why would somebody want to use you for this service versus, you know, everybody else that seems to be doing social media marketing stuff right now? Why you? Why should I go with Giselle?
I'm a teeny bit passionate about what I do, which I think is the most important thing. And anyway, I'm not gonna, but yeah, I have a special now where like there's a reduced price on mobile apps. And why? Because I really want to prove to small businesses that mobile apps help. So it's not even about the money. So why they should come and do business with me is because I'm passionate about it. I will significantly reduce regular costs just because I want small businesses to be successful. I've had the opportunity to, like I said, work for big corporations, but I've been a small business person. I know what the challenges are. I know that, you know, some months you make so much money, you're like in heaven, and the other month it's like, Mom, I need help paying my rent. That's just the reality of being a small business person sometimes, or an entrepreneur, right? So I would say, yeah, come with me for the passion. I've got a lot of experience, and I'm not even really trying to sell myself here because it's not really about that.
Market yourself.
Okay. But you know what? When you have a great product, you don't need to market yourself.
Oh, okay. I got you.
No, but I have the experience, like with Fortune 500 companies handling, you know, multi-million, like $23 million marketing budgets where there's testing and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm not just this person who's doing it kind of on the weekends, or I'm a marketer who works in a corporation that just focuses on email or just does one thing. I do it all. You know, from SEO to HTML to viral stuff to millennial marketing. So that's kind of some of the reasons. Also, I'm invested. I don't just take everybody. I have to feel passionate about the clients that I take on. And again, so I have the experience, and I also have the formal training. I have a master's degree in business administration focusing on marketing from Northeastern University.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is email marketing dead?
You know what? That's a great question. If you go online, and again, you know, you were talking earlier about how you can stand out from the crowd. I just quickly want to say in the couple of minutes that we have left that reputation marketing is a big deal. So if you want to know how I can cut through the noise, why would somebody do business with me as opposed to somebody else? You know, get your testimonials, get good reviews on Google and Facebook and stuff, and that will actually help you. So that's that.
Email.
Thank you very much. Yeah. See, I told you marketing ADD from the beginning. I told you this happens. So I was going to say you can go online and try to find out if email marketing is or isn't good, and you'll find blog posts that will say it still works and other ones that will say that it doesn't. So I think it's industry specific. I think it also has to do with your level of branding and credibility in the market. For example, I have business owners that have a 30 or 40% open rate, which is like ridiculously high because the average is less than 10%, it's 6%. So I wouldn't say that it's dead, but you have to have first of all, you have to hope that they gave you the right email address and not the one that they send all their spam email to, because that's what people do, which is why you need a mobile app so you can actually get those people, because email doesn't always work. But yeah, you have to have good engaging subject lines. You have to make sure that when they open your email, you're giving them information that's relevant. Everyone's talking about this value add. And people think, I have to write something every day. If you're sending me crap all the time, you're training me not to open your emails. You're training me to unsubscribe. So I wouldn't say that email marketing is dead. I think you just have to be pretty good at it.
Okay. So I'm guessing you have to, for email marketing, you've got to specifically target your audience.
Yeah, that's another thing. You should segment your audience. I mean, if you're collecting, and again, small businesses don't even always collect email addresses, so I'm not sure how you can follow up with them or offer them promotions and specials. But yeah, you should segment your audience. So this group of people might be interested in this one particular thing. These people might be interested in this, and this group might be interested in this. So yeah, it's a lot of work, which again is why you might need some marketing assistance. Because if you're sending a general message to everybody, it's like, well, what the heck does this have to do with me? But if you're always sending the right email list, the right messaging, they'll continue to open your stuff and they'll buy stuff when you have promotions. And you also want to have a good range of giving content and valuable information and then a pitch. You don't want to be selling your product each and every time you send them an email, right? So email marketing is not dead. It's just, I think, industry and reputation specific.
Okay. All right, we've got, I don't know, about 4 minutes left. We've definitely been like all over the place.
I know, gosh.
There's a comment online from Lawrence Kerr who was saying that community involvement is a big thing, and being able to get involved with something that you're passionate about and offer your services, that will help you in terms of creating some of your marketing as well. So thanks, Lawrence, for your comment. So yeah, we started off this conversation with some of the stuff that's been going on down south, and in like 1 minute, you have like 1 minute to tell me. What do you think about the whole Women's March yesterday?
Oh my goodness! I'm going to tell you what I found. No, okay. I didn't go. Again, from a social media perspective, what I found most interesting is I have like a large group of people that on Facebook who are on my Facebook, and some of the people are like, yeah, go pro women, no. And then I have other posters that are like saying the complete opposite. So for me, I mean, I'm not even going to comment on it from a perspective of what did I think of it. I sort of look at everything as a social experiment and just kind of trying to see where everybody falls in line with the whole thing. But again, they were able to rally all those people and, they engaged people and they got people going to it. So they marketed it very well.
They did a good marketing job.
They did.
Okay. I agree. They did do a good marketing job.
They did.
Definitely want to thank everybody for joining me today, joining us today on the show. You've provided some pretty good information. If people want to get a hold of you, you got like 30 seconds. How do people reach you?
Send an email to info@mappdom.com, mappdom.com.
Say that again.
info@mappdom, mappdom.com, or go to my Facebook page or inbox message me on the Kimbe Baobab's Facebook page. There's lots of ways to get a hold of me.
Lots of ways to get a hold
Yes.
of you. Great. Yeah, it's definitely been a lot of fun having this conversation. I know that you've provided some pretty good information. That,
I hope so.
Maybe I can take some, we'll talk about a mobile app with my face on it. Something will work that
Just
out.
you're all in one place. Like
all in
one place. I don't have to look for your Twitter here, your Facebook here, your YouTube here, your everything. Just Patrick Morris all in one place right here on my phone.
Look at that. People can find me.
Who wouldn't want that?
Exactly. Everybody's going to want that. Yeah, thanks very much for being here. For those of you in cyberspace land, thank you very much for listening this and spending your Sunday afternoon with us. We've got Jason's coming up next with DJ Sessions. This Thursday night, forgot to give the announcements. This Thursday night, for those of you who know Omar, we're doing he has a new album out. It's a new album release party. We're doing that at shoes.com downtown. And by all means, we start at about 7 o'clock? 7 o'clock? 10 o'clock? 7 o'clock? 7 o'clock. And if you guys can drop in and we'll be listening to the new album. And if you want to buy some, pick some up, by all means, you can do that as well. Have a great Sunday afternoon. It looks like I'm out of time.